one thought can destroy a bridge that it's taken you years to build. And this is what inspires me day and night to really write more and create more products. And we're going to be filming more on the Living My Illusion documentary series to really bring the awareness of how important it is to be self-aware in yourself, the kind of thoughts, the kind of beliefs, the kind of values you hold, and what kind of words do you share with one human being. Having studied technology, I really devoted my life to understand the technology of people. And because while we're so good at upgrading all of this technology, but we don't really invest in the biggest asset, which is yourself. We tend to invest things which are momentary happiness, but at some point in your life, you know you need to invest in you.
Absolutely.
What pushed you to write these books? I wrote A Path to Wisdom as a manual. I wanted to create the ability for people to follow, to fine-tune themselves so they can create the picture of life they want to experience. But not just the picture of life, but the sound of life. Every human being in the world, by default, by design, by nature, they know that when you feel struggle or when you are communicated in a way that hurts you and creates pain inside of you, okay, they require that level of understanding for you to be able to communicate with another human being where you can heal them in your presence.
These two books I really appreciate very much because there are, I don't exaggerate if I say there are kind of Bible for everyone, for every individual which would like to change his life.
Because most people like yourself, they go into the wild world, they've got an amazing education, but then they said, what do I do with it? Okay?
Exactly.
Because the world out there is not waiting with you with an open arm saying, come, I'll employ you, okay? That has changed now, so we need to adapt very fast, very quickly. And that's what pushed me to really write #loneliness, because the idea behind this is actually creating the science of oneness and what's possible for humanity and for every human being when they learn those principles, embodying their life, and they start transitioning and creating a bridge within themselves from 20th century living to 21st century living.
And you mentioned The Path to Wisdom, and that's your first book.
Correct, yeah.
And in that you talk about literally the path, the beginning of the journey of discovering yourself and self-awareness and taking your life to the stage that it deserves to be. Then you wrote another book after that. What was the connection between book one and book two?
So Path to Wisdom is really about taking people where they are and giving them a manual, a life manual. It's not a book you just read. It's something that no matter at what point in your life you are, if you open the book again, it will extract out of you a new level of intelligence to support you to the next journey. When we actually started this journey with Joel, when we co-created the idea of creating a documentary series about my work for educational purposes globally and to inspire the lives of 1 billion people, the key element is the changes he was going inside of him.
What I truly connected with was you. Was the, as you said, the aura, the presence that he brings. When you know that you are with someone who's truly special and that you just feel free to be around. This is someone that I felt inside of me, my internal intelligence system that we all have, just click and go, yes, this is somebody that I need to work with.
Because I believe in co-creation, so while I'm supporting my clients to create something, it's equally supporting me to create something bigger. So when my clients realize that in themselves, of how much they can really be in themselves, it really gives me this amazing energy to go do even more what we can do for others who may be at the point where Joel was when he met me 2 years ago, or may be at the journey where I was 20 years ago, 27 years ago, being on the streets. But planetary space, where you basically raise your awareness, so you start working, resolving global issues, and then meeting global people, such as I met the ambassador here, Qirko, and I met the defense secretary. So I'm meeting a lot of amazing people because they, deep down inside of them, they do know how necessary this work is if we are going to nudge the planet into a different direction to the one we're currently heading. #loneliness is something that I experienced throughout my life, loneliness, okay? And whether it's a form of loneliness through loss, which we discussed earlier on, when you lose a loved one, or whether it's homelessness as loneliness, when you see everybody going in their jobs, being dressed, having food to eat, having friends and family, and then there's a homeless man in a very wealthy country feeling alone.
The energy vampire, it's such an often used term, isn't it? And sort of, you know, we tend to look at others and sort of, you know, sort of avoid people in terms of the energy and the negativity, but at the same time it's about looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I love the connection that you make between disconnection within yourself and disconnection with outer society, which is the reason why I really loved Loneliness very much. It was a very sort of good way of actually identifying that, and very relevant for the society we live in today.
I read about almost 15,000 books and bring that to one man, to one person, and change the life of one person, and that person changes the life of other people, and then go on the mission to inspire 1 billion people, because we have a world so technologically connected, but we are alone in our hearts.
I was just truly inspired. It's like when you read the book and you take away those magic moments. But imagine doing that one-to-one. It's a completely unique experience.
Sometimes when we look at the problem outside of ourselves, it becomes much more at home within ourselves. Every single behavior, the good and the bad, our intuitive nature will guide us into it. But when you're not aware of it, it can bring you to a lot of dangerous situations and a lot of decisions that you make that later on in life you regret.
I suggest to anyone to read these books, and everyone will feel much better than before, and will try to find the positive energy which is in everybody.